Hey guys, how are ya? Hope you're all doing very well. Tonight I'm going to be doing another movie review. This is a horror film from Germany, German language English subs, released in the year 2011, directed by Tim Fehlbaum, and this movie is called Hell. And the story to Hell is as follows. Once the source of life, light and warmth, the sun has now turned the entire world into a baked and barren wasteland. Forests are scorched, animal carcasses line the roads, even the nights are dazzlingly bright. Maria, her little sister Leonie, and Philip are heading for the mountains in the search of rumoured water. Along the way they meet the mysterious Tom, who proves indispensable, but will he betray them at the next opportunity? As the tension grows, their paths cross with a new group of people, and now their real battle for survival begins. So this is a post-apocalyptic world. The sun has basically wiped out everything on the planet. It's risen in such extreme temperatures that everything has been turned into a barren wasteland. So there has been a rumour that it's been raining on the mountains. So this is the source of hope for humanity. And the three main characters, you've got Maria, her little sister Leonie, and Maria's boyfriend Philip. This is the incentive for them to get in their car and go on the dangerous journey to the mountains through the barren wasteland. Now, the car has been covered in blankets because enough exposure to the sun is going to burn them alive, and whenever they have to venture outside the car, they have to wear the appropriate protective clothing in order to survive it. So the problems that this travelling trio constantly face is the shortage of fuel. They always have to stop. It's always a danger to get outside the car, but in order for them to make it to the mountains, they need enough gas, which is unfortunately something that they're lacking. So they come across this gas station, and obviously they stop in there and search for the gas, but this is where they're introduced to another stranger named Tom. Now, Tom is not very trustworthy, but the trio see him as a welcome addition because the more males they have travelling with them, the safer that the females feel. So reluctantly, they allow Tom to travel with them to the promised land. But however, their dilemma is further intensified when they come across a new group of people. This new group of people turn out to be just as dangerous as the sun, and it's just another problem that the four main characters are now facing. So if you want to know how this movie unfolds and what's in store for the four main characters of the movie, hopefully I've done a good enough job at generating enough curiosity for you to go out there and see this movie for yourself, because that's as far as I am going with a rundown. Now, my thoughts on the movie. I was really excited to see this one. Not only is it a foreign horror film, it's a German horror film. And Germany are well known for their movies, but not in the horror genre. War films and drama movies are what Germany are really doing a lot of lately. And those movies have been superbly done. So I always thought that if they could put their attention onto horror, they could make some very good horror films as well. Now, Siege of the Dead is another recent horror film from Germany that I thought was very well done. So based on the fact that Germans do films very well, I had a high expectation level for this one. Once again, it's another post-apocalyptic film, so if you're a fan of that sort of subgenre, this is the movie for you. And it had also been compared to The Road. Now, The Road is an absolutely brilliant American film, and I thought it's a very big thing to compare it to The Road because a lot of hype is going to be generated because of that, and sometimes that can be a killer for a film. So I was hoping that it wouldn't be the case with this movie. Now, the movie comes nowhere near The Road, and I do feel that this movie is a little bit overrated, but having said that, don't let that dishearten you, because it is a thoroughly enjoyable horror movie, and it's a lot better than more of the recent American stuff. Now, yes, it's a post-apocalyptic film, and yes, it's very similar to The Road in the feeling of it, but I feel it's a different sort of film to The Road. Now, the biggest similarity that I have between the two films is in the visuals. The actual environment that the films are set in are very believable. What you have in The Road is a feeling of isolation, coldness, and wetness, and just a very uncomfortable feeling that you get throughout the entire duration of that movie. Whereas I feel that I had the same sort of experience going through this film. This film was absolutely fantastic as far as visuals are concerned. The director has made it a very bright film, and when they step out of the car, you're kind of adjusting your eyes to the level of sunshine that they are, and it really puts you into the driver's seat. It puts you into their shoes, and you're experiencing what they're experiencing as well. And for a film to do that, the visuals have to be second to none, which is what the movie is. absolutely fantastic as far as cinematography is concerned, and you can feel the hot sort of environment. You can sweat along with them, and just by seeing the visuals, seeing the sweat pouring down their face, makes you feel hot yourself, and it makes you feel very uncomfortable. And that was the biggest similarity that I had with The Road. A very, very realistic portrayal of, post-apocalyptic. So, yeah, if you're a fan of visuals, this movie is definitely going to impress you. Now, what I actually felt was different from The Road, it starts off very similar to The Road, but I feel that The Road is a survival drama, whereas this movie is more of a survival horror. About halfway through, it goes down a horror path. Some people might like that, some people might hate that. I actually feel that I really enjoyed the horror element to the movie because it was like two movies in one, in that it starts off as a survival drama and it goes down the horror road. I felt that the suspense levels were through the roof. I absolutely loved the suspense in the movie. Anyone who is a fan of psychological torment and good old-fashioned Hitchcock sort of suspense, you're going to really like this one because it doesn't rely on its gore. If you're a gore hound, you're not going to like this because there is no gore at all. It solely relies on its suspense, and fortunately the movie really does hit the spot as far as suspense is concerned. It's more a threat of what's going to happen rather than what you can actually see is happening. Now, the ending wasn't terrible. It could have been a lot better, but fortunately, a lot of movies are ruined by the ending, whereas this movie, the ending could have been better. It doesn't really it doesn't really tell you what's happened. You can kind of make up your own assumptions from it. But yeah, fortunately, the ending wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. Now I'll go through the negatives. Where The Road excels and where this film kind of hurts itself a little bit is the lack of character development. I didn't really feel any sympathy for the characters in Hell, whereas in The Road, I felt heartbroken when things went bad for the Viggo Mortensen and that child that he was with, because I really liked them and I really felt sympathy for their plight. Whereas in this movie, you don't get enough details in their life and you don't really care what happens to them because they're paper thin. So I really think the movie would have benefited from the richer sort of characters and characters that you actually see want to pull through this ordeal. So when the bad things start happening, fortunately the movie has enough suspense and dread in the air that the movie doesn't really rely on character development. The ending, as I said, it could have been a little bit better, but that wasn't a terrible sort of negative. But another big negative I have of the movie, although it's different from The Road, it's probably not like anything you've seen before. There's a lot of post-apocalyptic movies that go down the same path. Unfortunately, as I said, there's not enough creativity to call this a masterpiece. And if you've seen one, you've probably seen this one. But if you love your post-apocalyptic movies, then this is definitely a film I would recommend. There are some very, very memorable chase scenes in this one, especially at the end, that involves people chasing other people through the harsh sunlight, which I thought was superbly done. The chase scenes and the violence in the movie, although I said it's not gory, there is still some violence, very well choreographed. I thought it was very realistic. So if suspense is your thing and psychological sort of end-of-the-world movies are your type of film, then I would say definitely go out there and see it. It's no masterpiece, but it definitely isn't a terrible horror film. And as I said, if you're a fan of end-of-the-world type of movies, this one I would say definitely go out there and have a look at. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. I feel it's a fair score, and Hell is definitely a movie that is a welcome addition to any person's foreign horror collection. So 3.5 out of 5 for Hell. Alright guys, it's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.